What's up, everybody? My name is Shannon, and I am still waiting for my Seder, and today we are talking about The Red Queen by Victoria Aveyard. So I actually read this book for the first time 2 years ago, I think, and then when the second book came out, The Glass Sword, I didn't really remember enough of it to start reading it, and so I put it on the back burner. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna reread this so I can continue on with the series, and then I never did. I completely lost interest in it, but then all of a sudden, it kind of became like a cultural phenomenon. I've been seeing it everywhere. It's got its own coloring book, so I've kind of gotten interested in it again. I was like ready to pick up the series, so what I did was I re-listened to this book, and I gotta say, I still liked it a lot, but I don't know if I liked it as much as I did the first time, and that could be because I am reading A Court of Wings and Ruin right now, and anything compared to a Sarah J. Maas book is just utter crap, but it also could just be that I'm more sensitive to what happens in this book. For those of you who don't know, The Red Queen is kind of your typical YA dystopian fantasy. We're in a world where there are reds and there are silvers, and the silvers are kind of your elite because they have these really interesting powers, these mutations where you can like manipulate fire or like mind control people, or like that you have water powers, or you're like Magneto or whatever. So they kind of have taken control of this kind of fantasy new world here. And then we have reds, which are just the regular people. They are second-class citizens. They just are trying to get by. And with reds, if you aren't essential, you will get conscripted to the war when you become of age, and that is what sets most of our stuff in motion, because our main character, Mare Barrow, is somebody who is just trying to get by. She's a pickpocket. She's just trying to provide for her family. 3 of her brothers have already been sent off to the war, which is why she has 3 earrings in her ear. Her and her sister get earrings whenever they go off, and she is trying to keep her best friend from being conscripted because he used to be essential, but then he loses his apprenticeship, and that means he's gonna get sent off. And she tries to like find way to help him, but she needs money, and there's all this unrest going on because of these rebels. But then she meets this mysterious young man who helps her get a job at the palace, which sets everything into motion, because that's where she discovers that while she has red blood, she can control electricity. She has a mutation like these other silvers, and that thrusts her into this new world. Everybody wants to control her. She's a dangerous pawn in a game that she doesn't even know that she's playing. That guy that she met was the crown prince of this new land, and he seems pretty awesome. His name is Cal. He's very laid back, but Mare soon discovers that he has a duty to his people, and while she doesn't agree with the king's regime, he's still upholding it, and he's not trying to make lives better for reds. But then she also meets the other prince, Maven, kind of adding this little love triangle, and he's tired of living in his brother's shadow, and he's willing to help fight this regime. He wants equality, or at least that's what it seems like. We do kind of have this weird other character because Kalorn, who she was trying to keep from being conscripted, is kind of like added to this love square type thing, but for the most part he's not in this book too much, and when he is, he's just very irritating because he doesn't really do much other than argue with Mare. And the main problem I have with this book is that I really like discovering like this new world, and the world building is done very well, and I love like society and pretty dresses, and we like meet all the high houses and stuff like that. But Mare is very passive. She really doesn't do anything most of the book. She's just reacting to things as they happen to her, and people are kind of just shuffling her around. Like, she's kind of being used by the queen, she's being used by the rebels, and she's being used by, you know, like the princes, her friends, and all that kind of stuff. She's not really doing anything for herself. Yes, she does make the decision to join the rebels, but even then, like, her movements and like the actions that come out of that aren't really her decisions. And my other big problem with Mare is that she doesn't really know the line between, like, she wants vengeance, she wants justice, but she's still, like, there is still humanity. She kind of just wants to, like, kill everybody, and that's fine. That isn't, like, an interesting anger that isn't normally explored in books, but she just doesn't really seem to have a handle on things. And I am interested to see if that gets explored more in the other books. However, this book, while it is unique in its world building, it is still kind of a little bit of a paint by numbers. A lot of times throughout the story, I was seeing a lot of remnants of Hunger Games, of Divergent, even the Lone City trilogy. So I'm a little bit worried with the direction it's going to go in, but then again, I haven't read the second book. I haven't even read the back cover of it, so I don't necessarily know what it's about. I am still giving this book an A- though, because like I said, the world building is absolutely stunning, and one character in particular really stood out to me. Now, I can't tell you who this character is because it will give it away, but this character really does embody that this world is very complicated and things are not in black and white, which some of you may know I really love seeing, because a lot of times books are just like, we're the good guys and they're the bad guys, but really that's not how real life works. So I like when that's demonstrated, and that is like a big theme in this book. It's like anybody can betray anybody. Like, watch who you trust. You never know what's going to happen. And I think Mare struggles with that a little bit. Seems like she's always kind of a step behind, but there is this one other character who they're going along in kind of the same way, and they're seeing and going through the same things that Mare's going through, but they embody better that whole balance of, yes, we want change, but there's ways to go about it, and there's a time and a place for things. And yes, the king's regime isn't what it should be, but all-out anarchy and war is not necessarily what's going to bring about this change that we want, and they're really trying to find that balance. And I'm more interested in where this character is going than I am with our main character Mare, which unfortunately does happen a lot in YA books. Normally our heroine does get just a little bit, drugged down, and a lot of times the characters around her just won't be as strong because she's supposed to be the strongest character, which again, if she's not strong to begin with, that kind of tells you how the other characters are going to be. But in this book, the side characters really do have like a lot more going on and are a lot more rounded than Mare is, especially our male characters with Cal and Maven. Not so much Kalorn, but definitely our two princes. So I'm really interested to see where their arcs are going to go in particular. But like I said, I do give this book an A-, and I do recommend it because while at times it is a little paint by numbers, the world building is very great. The world is just so stunning, and I am motivated this time to actually read Glass Sword, so I will be moving on to that. I do want to mention briefly that I started reading Carve the Mark by Veronica Roth, and I was not impressed. That book was so frustrating. Oh my god, those characters, they were awful. I got through half of it and I dropped it. Like, it was too frustrating. I didn't know what was going on. I didn't know why anybody was doing anything. I might pick it up again, but probably not. It kind of makes me doubt if Divergent was as good as I remember it to be, so that's kind of, I'm like, wow, this book just kind of sucks. I know a lot of people, I know that it was like really hot on Tumblr for a while. That kind of happened with Replica too, though. I saw a lot of buzz for that, and then I was very underwhelmed by it. But yeah, I couldn't even get through Carve the Mark. I only got through 50% of it, so I can't really give it a full review. Would I recommend it? I don't know. If you think you can muscle through it, more power to you. I could not. But anyway, thank you guys so much for watching this video. If you liked it, be sure to hit that like button down below, and don't forget to subscribe so you can talk books with me every Monday. That's everything I got for you today, guys. I'll see you next time. Bye!